Good morning, my dear students. So today I'm going to teach you the first chapter of class 11 chemistry, and the name of this chapter is Some Basic Concept of Chemistry. Some basic concepts of chemistry. So since this is your first chemistry class and I'm your chemistry teacher, and my name is Khushbu. So if we want to learn that chemistry, so we must need to learn some basic concept. So that's why this chapter is included in your textbook, okay? And in your previous classes you learn about chemistry, but here you are going to learn about first amount, okay? First amount of chemistry. So just try that what is chemistry? What is chemistry? So if I'm going to write the answer, then the answer is that chemistry deals with the matters, properties, composition, and structure. Okay, that means that in chemistry we are going to learn about the matters, properties, matters, structure, and composition. Okay, so what is matters actually? Now we are going to learn about what is matter. Okay, and before that I want to ask you a question, that why chemistry is important, why we need to learn chemistry. Okay, so the answer of this is that we know that we have different kind of diseases, right? So if we have disease, then we must need to cure that disease, and for this cureness we need medicine. So those medicines are prepared with the help of chemistry, and we know that those medicines are also known as some chemicals, right? So with the help of chemistry we can prepare medicine, okay? As well as there's some fertilizers which used to grow the crops, right? So fertilizers, then soaps, detergents, plastics, all are formed with the help of chemistry. And if I have to tell you the more number of examples, that we all know about that CFC, right? That chlorofluorocarbon which released from that refrigerator, and it's like a harmful for our environment. Like we know about that global warming, it's happened because of methane, carbon dioxide, okay? Those gases are released due to combustion of fuels. So what we now we are trying to use some gases as a fuel, like hydrogen gas as a fuel, which reduce that amount of methane and carbon dioxide, so that our global warming will not happen, right? So that our environment will be safe. So in this because of this reason, because we have to get rid of those problems, right? Those global warming and everything like that, okay? So if we want to get rid of those problems, so we must need to learn that chemistry. So we need some chemists, okay? So who are going to prepare medicine, okay? So you are like students, so if you are going to learn that chemistry very easily, if you understand it completely, after that you will go for some industries, some pharmaceutical industries, some fertilizers industries, and there you are going to prepare some medicine, some fertilizers. So in this way you can help our country, right? So that's why we need to learn chemistry, okay? So till now we learn about that what is chemistry and why we need to learn chemistry, okay? We get the answer of this two question. What is chemistry? Chemistry is that which deals with the matters, properties, matters composition, and matters structure. And the next question is why we need to learn chemistry. I already give you the answer. And the third question is that how we have to learn chemistry, right? So you heard about that many times, like chemistry is so tough, we don't know how to read it properly, and it's usually very hard, but it's not correct actually. If you try your best, if you rather than mug up those things, if you try to remember, rather than remembering those things, if you try to learn those things, like if you are going to enjoy the learning in this way, you can remember all those chemistry very easily. So I'm going to teach you in that that way, like you understand it completely as well as you enjoy the learning as well. Okay, so now we are going to learn about matters. What is matters? Because we need to learn chemistry. So in chemistry we need to learn about matters, properties, composition and structure. Before that we need to learn like what is matter. What is matter? Okay, so matter is something like which have some which occupy some space and which have some mass. Those species are known as matter. Okay, so those species which occupy some space and which have some mass are known as matter. Okay, so are known as matter. So now after learning about that matter, the matter is like, this is the example of matter. Okay, then this is the example of matter. Okay, because it have some it occupies some space as well as it have some mass as well. Okay, so now we are going to learn about the classification of matter. Okay, so after that we are going to learn about the classification of matter. Classification of matter. So we already know that matter is of three different types. Okay, it's also known as like types of matter. You can also write it as types of matter. Okay, we know that there's three different types of matters. Let me check that is it filming or not. Okay, so first one is solid, second one is liquid, and the third type is gas. Okay, so on the basis of what we differentiate these three. Okay, so if we are going to write this like solid, in case of solid, the constituent particles means those atom, molecule. Like what about atom and molecule? I'm going to explain those things whenever I'm going to learn teach about that periodic table. Okay, in that way you are going to learn about atom, molecule. So in case of solid, what happened? Those constituent particles means which are bound to form that solid. Okay, so those constituent particles are strongly bound B-O-U-N-D, bound with each other. So in case of solid, what happened? Those constituent particles are strongly bound with each other like this. These are the constituent particles, these are the particles, and those are strongly bound. So because of this strong bound, what happens? Solid have some definite shape and definite volume. Okay, in case of liquids, the constituent particles are close to each other, but they can move. Okay, so what happened in case of solid? They are very closely pegged to each other, right? So they can't move, they cannot move, they cannot move. But in case of liquid, what happened? They are also close, those particles are close, but they can move. That means they have some distance between those particles. Okay, so it have, in case of liquid, what happened? They have definite volume. I mean, liquid have definite volume but not definite shape. Their shapes are not definite, okay, but their volumes are definite. After that, in case of gas, the constituent particles are far away from each other. That means they have so much distance in between that constant particles. They have so much distance from each other, so they can like anyway. They can be like anyway. So what happened in case of gas? They have neither definite shape nor definite volume. Okay, so what we have learned till now, like solid. In solid, there are constituent particles. I mean, that constituent particles means atoms, molecules. So they are strongly bound with each other. They are strongly bound. So since they are strongly bound, so what happened that they have same definite shape and definite volume. But in case of liquid, the constituent particles are also close, but they can move. So what happened? They have definite volume, but their shapes are not definite. And in case of gas, constituent particles are very far away from each other, so they neither have definite shape nor have definite volume. So if we have to give an example, like the example of solid is like this. Okay, this is a solid and water is a liquid. So if we are going water have some definite volume, like if we take 2 liters of water, so and if we are going to take it in a different container, then its volume is then its shape is different, and if we are going to take it in different container, then its volume is different. So liquid don't have definite shape. Sorry, I mean, if we are going to take in different container, then liquid shapes are changed. Okay, and for gas, they didn't have shape, definite shape, or they neither have definite shape then nor definite volume. After that, we are going to separate, like classified matters on the basis of chemical change. I mean, chemical properties. They have sense. I mean, they are classified as matters are classified as mixture and pure substances. Mixtures are two types, like homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. And pure substances are differentiated as like elements and compounds. Okay, so what is those things? Like, we know that mixers, if we have to give the example of mixers, then air, then tea. Okay, and pure substances are like those, like water, then hydrogen atom, oxygen atom. Those are like water, then ammonia. Okay, so if we are going to why is it mixture? Because air have different kind of gases like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. Those gases are mixed there, that's why air is a mixture. Okay, and again mixtures are differentiated as like homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous means it have its components like same in its components are uniform. Components are uniform. I mean the ratio of we should write it like that. The ratio of components are uniform in all over the solution. And here the ratio of components are non-uniform all over the solution. Okay, so what it means that the ratio of components is uniform. So if we are going to take example of mixture of water plus sugar, if we are going to take the mixture of water plus sugar, then it's give a solution. And if it's solution, okay, so if we are going to take 1 spoon from this area, then its sweetness is same as like the sweetness of this area. Okay, why it's happened? Because its components are uniform, same amount equally, so it's known as homogeneous mixture. Okay, but if we are going to take the sand plus water, so what happened? If we are going to take 1 spoon of water from here, so it have less amount of sand. But if we are going to take 1 spoon water from here, then it have more amount of sand. That means these solutions, it's not uniform. Okay, so those solutions which are not uniform in all over the solution, it's known as heterogeneous mixture, and those solutions which are uniform in all over the solution are known as homogeneous mixture. After that we are going to learn about that elements and components. Okay, after that we are going to learn about the elements and the components. So what are elements actually? Elements are those which are made with same constituent particles, which are made up with same constituent particles. Okay, for example, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, iron, aluminum. Those are the example of elements. And compounds are those which are formed by combination of one or more amount of elements, one or more number of elements. Okay, so elements are like which are made with the same constituent particles, and compounds are like which are formed by the combination of one or more elements. For example, water, ammonia, carbon dioxide. Those are the example of compounds. So this is all for this chapter. I mean, this is the part 1 of this video. I mean, this chapter. So this, after that I'm going to upload the second video where I'm going to teach about the properties of matter. Okay, but before that I want to tell you something important, like what is elements actually. If we want to learn the chemistry completely, then we must have some knowledge regarding elements. So for that I'm going to teach about something about the periodic table. If you don't have that periodic table, then just buy it from any bookstore, or maybe it's available in your book as well. So just try to learn that periodic table. Okay, after that it's easy. Like if I'm going to tell about the chapters of your book, then the first chapter is some basic concept of chemistry. Okay, after that we are going to learn about the structure of atom. So what is that atom? If we are going to tell about hydrogen, then hydrogen have one electron, one proton. So hydrogen structure is like this. Okay, it have a nucleus. This is nucleus, and in nucleus there's neutron and protons are there, and one electron is moving around that nucleus. So this is the structure of atom. Okay, so these things we are going to learn in the second chapter. After that we are going to learn about periodic table. So after that we are going to learn about, like, since I am giving an example, like with the help of hydrogen gas and oxygen gas, water is formed, right? So with the help of hydrogen and oxygen, water is formed. But the condition is that why it's formed in this manner? Why water is like H2O? Why it's not like HO2 or OH? Why? Because there's some conditions are there for why H2O is formed. About this chemical bonding of H2O, how this chemical bonding happen in H2O, because about those things we are going to learn in number 4 number chapter, and it's known as chemical bonding. After that, in this way we are going to learn the whole book, and after that you feel like that chemistry is really very easy. So before that, I just want to tell you about that periodic table, and it's really important. And because this is your first class, so from today just try to remember the name of those elements, and then it will be helpful. Okay, so there's 18 group in periodic table. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 and 18. This total, these are known as group. Okay, and here these are known as periods. In first periods we have two elements, hydrogen and helium. In second period we have, this is the period number 1, this is the period number 2. We have, in second period we have 8 elements. These are blank. From 3 to 12 it's blank. Boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, neon. Just remember those. Okay, and in the third number period we have aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, and argon. Okay, and after in the fourth period it's lithium, sodium, potassium, and it's calcium. So till 20, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. Till 20 you have to remember those 20 number of element. Okay, after that I'm going to write the some or more, because if I'm going to ask that where is that iron, where is that aluminium, so aluminium is here, but where is that iron? Okay, so you have some curiosity to know about those elements, right? That's why I'm going to write just for knowledge. And till now just try to remember till 20. After that you just try to remember all the 18 group element, then all the 17 group element. Okay, I'm going to write those for you. So after that from fourth period those elements are started, those like which are in that D group. Okay, this 1 and 2 are known as S block element. So you have chapter about this also, where we are going to learn about only about those 1 and 2 group element, and these are known as P block element. So in this chapter we are going to learn about those elements which are in that region, and these 4 to 12 are known as D block element. Okay, D block element. Then we are going to learn about those D block element, but here in first day you just need that S block and P block, and very little about just very little knowledge about a D block. Okay, and here also these two lines are there, these are known as A block, but it's not mandatory for you. Just try to remember those. Okay, which I'm going to write. and please buy it if it's available in your area. Then buy it and just try to remember, because chemistry means that periodic table. It's really very important. Okay, after that, those elements start that four group elements start from that 4 period. Okay, remember that 4 group element is sorry 3 number element is start from 4th group. So it's like scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper till 12, and then zinc. Okay, after that again uses that like p block. Okay, so helium, carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, Pb. After that, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, selenium, tellurium, polonium. And then those are important. Okay, these are like very less. If you can, then try to remember it. But these 17 and 18 group elements are completely, you must have to know these things. Okay, because in your third chapter, I think they are, you are going to learn about that why the size is increases whenever we are going to the below the group. Why size is increases, the atom size is increases from below the group. So these things we are going to learn in our next classes. Okay, so just try to remember those, like group 17 element are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, certain till iodine. You just remember. After that those are helium, then argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Okay, xenon and iron, I think I have some confusion regarding it. Okay, so just try to remember. After that, those one group elements are completely known as like hydrogen, lithium, sodium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Those are known as alkali metals. Alkali metals. And beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. Those are known as alkaline earth metals. You must know these things. Okay, if you want to be the good student in chemistry, so from today onwards you try to learn those things, then it will be very easy for you. Okay, so this is number 1 period, 2, 3, 4. So number 1 period have 2 elements, number 2 have 8, number 3 have 8 element, number 4 have 18 element. Okay, number 5th also have 18. Okay, I'm going to write those also. So 5th, 6th, 7, in this way this happen. After that, if you want to know, then those are not that important for you, but here it's yttrium, then zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, cadmium. After that, here lanthanum, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, rhenium, osmium, iridium, platinum, gold, and mercury. These are okay. So it have 2 elements. Number 1, number 2 period have 8 elements. Number 3 period have 8 elements, and all those are have 18 elements. Okay, till 6. Okay, so you have to remember till 20. As I already told you that you have to remember till 20. Then those halogens, then those noble gases, and try to remember those like here we found that iron, which I already told you about, that iron is an element, and we know that rusting is occurring in iron. Why this happen? Because whenever we put iron in contact with oxygen, then ferric oxide is formed, and because of that iron rusting is formed. Okay, so we already familiar with those things. Why this happen? Because iron is going to react with oxygen gas, which is present in air. So whenever you throw a iron in air, and after some months we see that rusting happen. Okay, so these things, yeah. Now why I'm going to why I have written those things, because the question is that why the formula of H2O, water, is H2O. Why it's not O2H? Okay, so for that I want to tell you about that why this bonding is happen. Like see, oxygen is in the which period? it's in the third number of it's in the second number period, right? So oxygen want to be like this because oxygen is poor and the neon is the rich. I mean it's the noble. So oxygen want to be like that noble. Okay, so because it's unstable, very unstable, but these are the stable. So oxygen is also want to be stable. So what he have done for that? So oxygen is in the number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So oxygen have in the number 8, so it's like 2.6. So it's have 6 electron in its outer shell. So oxygen have 6 electron, 1 2 3 4 5 6, but it want 2 more electron to be like neon. And hydrogen also we want to be like helium, because in this period it's in front of hydrogen, helium is there. So hydrogen want to be like helium, and those boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, those are want to be neon. Aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, these are want to be like argon. Okay, so hydrogen want 2 electron, like hydrogen have 1, helium have 2. So hydrogen want 2 electron, and oxygen want 8 electron in its outermost cell, just to be like neon. Okay, so for that what oxygen do? That oxygen think like, if I get 2 electron, then I will be like neon. So oxygen go to hydrogen and share each one electron with one hydrogen and the another electron with another hydrogen. So now oxygen have 8 electron, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and hydrogen as well have 2 electron. So these are stable now. In this way this bonding is happen and water is formed, and water is very stable now. But if we are going to put 2 oxygen and 1 hydrogen, then there's no chance of any bonding, and how they say this is not possible. That's why H2O is not like O2H. I mean water is not like O2H. Water is always like H2O. Why? Because in this way they become stable. They got that octet. They complete their octet. Okay, so maybe you learn about that octet rule in your previous classes. So I think this is all for today's class. So just try to remember that 18 number group, then halogen, then noble gases, then till 20, and then these are the elements like hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, boron, all are the elements, iron, all are the elements, and they want to become like those noble gases. That's why they undergo chemical bonding, and they want to form compounds, where we already learned about that pure substances, right? Those pure substances are elements and compounds. Those hydrogen and oxygen, these are elements, and whenever they combine in a well manner just to fulfill their octet, then they form compounds. Okay, so in our in next class we are going to learn about the properties of matter. Okay, the first chapter, second part. And if you have any question, then ask me in the comment section, and study well and try to remember at least those, so that you don't face any difficulty during learning chemistry. That's it all for today. Thank you so much for watching.